Right, looks like we are recording and we are going live on Facebook. Please bear with me 1 second. Shame there's no faster way of doing this. I don't think there is. Let's just see. Preparing to live stream. Right, hopefully I am live. If you are joining in to see me live on my Facebook page, please say hello. Let me just see what the comment section is. Seems a bit slow. It is Friday the 13th, and my computer might not be playing the role. I have an very interesting topic to talk to you about today. So I wanted to come on Friday the 13th and let me know in the comments if you believe the weirdness of Friday the 13th, and comment yes if you do, and comment no if you don't. And I wanted to talk to you about Friday the 13th, and let me know. I wanted to talk to you about 7 secrets to happiness. Give me a wave or write something in comments if you can see me and hear me okay. And I shall carry on. So yes, the 7 secrets to happiness. There's a little book that I read, and it was a little while ago, actually, last year, and I picked it up a couple of days ago and kind of had a look at the notes I've made and what I highlighted. I often highlight in books, or I make some notes. And it's the 7 Secrets of Happiness little book by Gales Bransreff. So you can Google him and have a look at his credentials. There's quite a few, and you'll probably know him for different things. And I just thought with the weekend upon us, it would be nice to just talk about these things. And maybe there's something that you can do starting today or this weekend to lift your mood. I know that some people do get a little bit down when we head into autumn and winter. So it might be a good idea to make sure that we keep the good vibes going. So I'll talk you through the 7 secrets of happiness. And then I'd love to know in the comments which one resonates with you the most out of these 7, which one you're perhaps going to try over the weekend. And yeah, let's get going, shall we? So number 1 is cultivate a passion. And I'm a big fan of this one. It is one of our emotional needs, one of our human being emotional needs, to have a meaning and purpose. For some people, of course, it will be stronger than for others. We're not all the same, we're all individuals, but it is something that matters to the most of us. And Gales has, in his research for this little book, for the topic, let's just take a step back. How this book came about is basically that back in 2013, he gave a presentation on this topic in university in Birmingham, and it just completely exploded. People were just astonished by this presentation. So he realized that there was definitely a little book to be written about it. And in search for these 7 secrets to happiness, he has spent time with so many different people, with the celebrities, with politicians, with the royalties in the world, with the British royal family, with the sheikhs in Dubai, with the Buddhists, and all sorts of remarkable, extraordinary people. And when he summarized and looked at these things that make people happy, and people happy that live extraordinary lives, he came down to the conclusion it was these 7 things. And when he talks about cultivating a passion, he talks about people when they lose their passion, they lose their spark in life. And as an example in this book, actually, he uses Margaret Thatcher, the first British female prime minister. And he said that he knew her and he had the chance to meet up with her after, she was out of the politics world. And he just said that, she was basically like a lost puppy because she was out of the game, as she called it at the time, and she didn't have anything else in her life to replace that, which obviously made her mental well-being suffer. So that's number 1, cultivate your passion. Do find things that light up your soul, things that you enjoy doing. It's really, really important. Then number 2, interestingly, Gales has called it be a leaf on a tree. And what he means by that is to make sure that you are part of some sort of community, or you have some sort of tribe, like my bee tribe. Because as much as it's important to have a bit of time to yourself and be your individual and have time to reflect your own experiences and things, it's really important for us as human beings to feel part of some sort of community, tribe, of something that is bigger than us. So it's important to have not only that passion, that purpose, that meaning, but also to be, with other people, because we are social animals, if you like, and your tribe can either lift you up or bring you down. So it's really important also to select what kind of people you spend your time with, because you may have heard the saying that show me the 5 people you spend most of your time with, and I will tell you who you are. So your tribe is really, really important. So that's number 2, be leaf on a tree. So you may want to just reconnect with your community this weekend. Then number 3, again, it's got an interesting name to it, and it says break the mirror. And Gales here talks about self-awareness and self-regard. He says the self-awareness is good, self-regard is fatal. And he says that people that do too much introspection and are too focused on themselves are not as happy as people that are focused outwards. And here in the UK, you probably will have heard of the example that's used in the book, and that's the late Prince Philip. He famously said, and I'll quote it properly, one piece of advice is don't talk about yourself. Nobody is interested in you. And he famously said that. So it's really good to show interest in other people and what they're doing, because that will help you build relationships with other people. I must admit that out of all these 7 secrets, this is probably the one that I don't resonate as much with, this one, because he hasn't explained it really well. I guess I understand what he's trying to say, that we don't want to be too obsessed with ourselves. But I think it's all about a healthy balance, right? In my opinion, the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship in your life, because that will affect all the other relationships in your life around you. Things like how much you love or not love, and appreciate or not appreciate yourself, value or devalue yourself. That's how we base relationships around us. So I think it's all about a healthy balance in the end. That's my personal opinion. Then number 4 is a very interesting one, and I love this one, and it says don't resist change. And you may have heard and some people say, I think Darwin said that, Charles Darwin said that it's not the strongest species that survive, but it's the most adaptable ones. So if you resist change, then it will cause a lot of stress and anxiety. And we human beings, of course, can be creatures of habit. And it does seem that we live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with the next new thing. And, you can't get very far these days without Wi-Fi and this app or that app. And we're constantly pushed to updating stuff and keeping up to date. But it's important that we go with the flow, and that we don't, get stuck in our ways. Because that, I was just wondering if he's used an example here. Change is like the salt in the soup. Change adds spice to life, is what Gales basically says. And obviously all these famous and remarkable people that he's met on his journey to write this presentation and then book have talked about how important it is to go with the times. And then number 5 is to audit your happiness. And to put it very simply, what he talks about here is, instead of just whining about the things that we don't like in our lives, it's important to go and do something about them. So don't just continuously complain if you're never going to change anything. So if you realize that there are things, you don't like your job, or you don't like how you look, and things like that, then try and take those first steps into changing those things. Look at your life and things that make you unhappy. There's a quote by James Corden: the difference between doing something and not doing something is doing something. And it really is as simple as that. So just do it. And number 6 is live in the moment. I think this is really, really important, actually. And for me, I will say that's what happiness is about for me personally. Because what I have discovered, I don't think any of us are just happy all the time, right? I don't think it is this constant state of being that you wake up, you're happy, you sail through your day, you're just constantly happy, and you go to bed and you're happy again. I don't think that's how happiness works. So what I try to do, I do try to be mindful as much as possible, and I do try to really appreciate the things that I have in life on those special moments. And it can be something really simple as really smelling the coffee in the morning. I love my morning coffee, and I savor every sip of that coffee. It could be going out for a walk and it just really appreciating what a beautiful day it is, or how nice it feels to breathe in that fresh, clean air, how nice it is to see the beautiful surroundings, around you and things like that. So for me, happiness is cultivating those little moments, however small. Of course, it's the big ones, celebrating the big ones, but appreciating the little things in life. And the more you do that, the more I believe you start finding more things to appreciate, because what we focus is what we get, right? And I believe that if you focus on the positive things, you will see more positive things. If you keep focusing on the negative things, you will just keep seeing more and more of negative things. There was an interesting experiment that was done. I just vaguely remember it from my psychotherapy studies. And it was something along the lines that they sent these groups of people to a room. And basically in this room, there were different colored objects. And they asked each group to concentrate on a different color. And if I remember correctly, there was the blue group and then the red group. And they were sent out in these rooms, and they needed to count how many either red or blue objects were in the room. So they did that. And at the end of the experiment, they were faced with the opposite question. So the people that were asked to count how many blue things there were, they were asked how many red objects were in the room, and then vice versa. People that were focusing on the red were asked how many blue objects were in their room. And what they found is that obviously nobody absolutely paid attention how many there were, or some hadn't even noticed that there was a different color because they were purely focused on the task that they were given. And that's what it comes to positivity and negativity. If you keep focusing on the positive things, you will see more of them. And if you focus on the negative things, and I think that's actually stronger, if you focus on the negative things, then all is bad and all we can see is negativity all around us. I think there's enough negativity as it is in the world at the moment. I think you will agree. So let's try and focus on the good things that we have in life. And that leads me to number 7. So short and sweet, this one, be happy. Basically, if you want to be happy, then just be happy. And it sounds like really simple, doesn't it? If you want to be happy, be happy. But I think it's actually the most powerful one, because we tend to think that our happiness is external, that it depends on other people. Other people make us happy, you know, your spouse, your children, your friends, your family. We think that circumstances make us happy, how perhaps wealthy we are, how successful we are, where we live, what we have, endless amount of circumstances, and we allow the external things to determine our internal state. But in the truth, it really is up to you. And that just, goes back with number 6, living in the moment and appreciating the good things. You are in charge of your internal state. You can either cultivate positivity or negativity. And when you allow those external things and people determine your happiness, you are giving your power away. And that is my opinion. So to recap, so number 1 is cultivate a passion. And do let me know in the comments which one resonates with you the most. Number 2 is to be a leaf on a tree. So number 1, passion. Number 2 is basically about being part of a community. Number 3, break the mirror. And that's being, too focused on yourself. Number 4, don't resist change. So be adaptable, be flexible. Number 5, audit your happiness. So go and do something about the things that, make you unhappy. Number 6, live in the moment, be mindful. And number 7, if you want to be happy, then just be happy. Right. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing which ones resonated with people the most. Like I said, it's number 6 and 7 for me, but we all pick up on different things. So it'll be interesting to see what everyone thinks. And if you are someone who is ready and wants to cultivate that positive thinking, because positivity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it's going to be, the more it's going to grow. I do have, Leanne says number 6. Thank you, Leanne. Interesting. Yeah, that is a very important one, living in the moment. Then, if you want to cultivate more positivity in your life, and you want to find out how I do it, what is the mindset work that I do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, to make sure that I am in an uplifted emotional state most of the time, I invite you to check out my Uplift Masterclass that is on my website. It's the first masterclass that I ever did. It's about an hour and a half long, I believe. And I talk about all the tools that I used at the time and I continue to use that have helped me to change and transform my life for the better. And on the website, you can also read the feedback, the amazing feedback I received from people that attended the masterclass or watched it on a replay afterwards. Once you purchase it, it's $19.99. You will get the recorded copy of the masterclass that you can watch in your own time. So I'll pop a link to my website under this masterclass in the next to the title, I think, once I have finished this live. And if you have enjoyed this video, then please give it a heart, perhaps tag a friend or two that you think might benefit from this message. As always, sharing is caring. And I wish you all a fantastic weekend. And hopefully I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.